You too. Oh. You too. And the other is, now that we have all this, I was
All
wondering,
right.
I know that does like newsletter.
Mic check. Haley, how you doing?
Notes.
Yours all right?
Translating once in a while.
Great, thank you.
Maybe get a, we can figure it out like a calendar. Say, this day is due materials for the newsletter, so you can have time to, you know, we'll color code it, like what I need to do in seminar by deadlines. Okay. We can send a sample to Kate. Is that her name? Kate, okay, just copy me, because I'm the one that does that. Okay, so it'll be you. Yes. For the actual operational part, we'll do it with you. Okay. Yeah, perfect. We'll send you an email with a sample. Okay. All right, that's easy. Everybody start the meeting first. Thank you. Nice to see you. Okay, thank you. Figuring out where we are. Do you need a?
Yeah.
Light.
Can we go get that for you?
So what do we have now? Yeah, I got just a great Martin salad. It's almost like we gotta like, for those of us who are gonna be. Anyway.
Do you want me to go get a dinner salad for
Do
you?
you mind?
I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry about that.
I was looking for those forks.
Yeah.
I run up and I'm like, you can Caesar.
We got a small pizza?
This is.
Oh, yes, right. And then the artichoke, right? Okay. I mean, come in, please. I got. Maybe not for the. Yeah, go ahead.
It's fun for me. I talked to Crystal today.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna trio
That's
today.
okay, thank you.
Two very major.
And then you, Arizona, for those that like artichoke.
She's gonna be the test tube for us.
This is a veggie.
She didn't mention anything about her concussion, but she showed me her x-rays.
This is pepperoni.
They're not pretty. So she's like, this was really traumatic, and they had another traumatic injury that like I'm going out there getting the updates. I know I don't want to be Christine with my sibling and dad like fell on Ave and like
33 on a check. We've had these
so
checks
she's
for
basically like
8 years.
this is the bill you just check or something and then like
The address changes.
Oh, yeah, we can't move because we have so many.
she didn't say like I didn't get
Oh, yeah, 'cause they just got out of the
she had an appointment at Tree and a month, so.
Because you gotta coordinate
Well,
something.
I just figured out who's going to be the repository.
I'm gonna save it to our fridge so we don't forget to pay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got the email, so.
Okay, oh, but not our own phone number, but you have my email.
And this is,
Their head was underwater.
I'm good, how are you, man?
And then.
They were good.
How many more we can write on keyboard?
Right.
Oh.
I have to say that.
Like several weeks.
Yeah. That's perfect. We didn't have a show with dinner.
Way to go. Way to go.
We did it. Hey.
This is veggie.
Wait a second.
That is the cheese. This is cheese. Yeah, this is cheese.
Oh, they got mixed up, okay.
That, yeah,
Oh,
this is
really?
cheese.
Was
That's
that
right.
the bus
Is that-
organizer?
I think I can tell because you know they barely.
I looked at the sign up and all the like color coding and stuff.
I didn't want to be responsible for losing anybody out in the suburbs.
This had me dancing. Yeah, but it's for the, and it has to be.
That was you?
Yeah.
What?
You thought there was somebody on TV?
Okay.
I was looking for that.
Eat your greens. And for those that don't like tomatoes, this is
like
in
the
the
garden
garden.
one.
Yeah,
everybody should send just like an extra series.
Yeah.
Can do that.
My 6-year-old thinks Oliver is amazing because he has games at the table.
Hi, Michelle. How you feeling?
Better.
Good.
3 of us got strep, but we're all better now.
Yeah. Good. That's good to hear.
It might have been so ironic, but everyone got that.
The agenda's gonna change a little bit, but we'll cover everything. I want you to think about, for the icebreaker, if you can name the chapter in your life you are right now, what would it be called? I keep it real simple.
Okay. We need to.
Is that what you're naming yours, or is that a description chapter?
No, that would not.
Oh my God.
Yes. What would be the name of the?
Could you purposely not use the word eras?
Yeah, what's your era right now?
You can name your era.
I mean-
Yeah, you could. I feel like naming the chapter is more creative, gives more, you know?
So many thoughts.
Yes.
Can't wait. Usually in the winter, I read The Longest Winter by Laurie Wilder. Because I'm like, well, this will help me feel like this isn't so bad.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna die. I don't think, when I'm going
Not
outside.
a snowdrift.
Especially not this winter.
I'm not gonna lose my way, I don't think, but.
Take winter.
Midwest, whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna get started. We might actually end early. I say that and we're gonna go over that. So I'm Sana, I use she, they pronouns, and welcome. Welcome, everyone. And yeah, so we're gonna do a little icebreaker, which is, yeah, if you could name this chapter or era, right, in your life, what it would be. I'll go first, this is my idea. And it'd be my favorite astrologer pulled the, I forget what the card was, but it's the message was, sit your ass down. So that's the chapter. Sit your butt down. That's the chapter that I'm in, the era I'm in right now. So you get to go next.
I had so much curiosity and follow-up questions. I'm Lindsay, I use she, her pronouns. I'm a parent to Evelyn Branch-Turner, who's in Miss Amanda's 4th grade class, longtime PTO appreciator, first time meeting attendee. Thanks for having me. Mine is something like all of the F's. I do not give them. Where are they? They're missing, something like that. This guy.
Hi, I'm Tom. I use masculine pronouns. My daughter Bernadette is in Miss Schilbert's 2nd grade class. I had to pick, I don't know, cautious, grateful equilibrium. It's pretty okay right now, but a little tip either way. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm Tana Hip. I use she, her pronouns, and I have a 4th grader and a 1st grader, and maybe I'm caught in the middle. I'm in that taking care of my sick father, and I have little kids kind of phase. So, I'm not sick, I have Alzheimer's, which is like an interesting diagnosis.
I'm Liz Thompson. I have 2 5th graders, and I'm the PTO treasurer.
This is really on the nose, but I'm in my Taylor Swift era. I started getting into her when Minute came out last summer, and with my daughters, we're all super into it together. So it's fun to follow all the cool stuff and everything.
I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns. I have a 5th grader and a 3rd grader. I'm in my bingo card era. Means I have a bingo card for the year of things I want to do and stop doing, and then it's on my bingo card. Well,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I want to be, I'm in my bingo. That sounds amazing.
Send you the PDF.
Love it. I'm Diego DePaz. I'm the principal here at Bancroft. I have a lot of connections with folks. I have some partners now that like to watch football because my girls want to see if Taylor Swift comes on. So it's kind of fun watching a Super Bowl. My girl's like, "Where's Taylor? Where?" And then we watched Usher, which is also was amazing, and they loved it. So I was like, "Okay, we're gonna listen to some Usher. We're gonna watch Taylor Swift. It's gonna be fantastic."
And there was roller skating.
And there was roller skating. Yeah, that was even better. I forgot about that part. It's the year of the dragon, and I'm a dragon. I was born in the year of the dragon, so I just think it's this is my year. Just put that out there. It's my year. Year of the dragon.
Yeah. Christine Kennedy, assistant principal. Nothing is coming to mind except I'm really into the moon phases. So my era is moon phases right now. And it's new moon, so rebirthing of energy.
That's great.
Not great right now. But this pizza.
I'm Eric Moore. I have a 1st grader in Miss Lewis's class, and drawing a blank on what chapter it is.
I'm Melissa, and I have a 3rd grader, Drake, in Miss Vanderland's class, and I'm in my soul age. I've been, my brain has been waiting for this for 35 years. I'm finally caught up with myself. Feels really good.
People.
I'm actually not understanding what the second part of the question is. But my name is Vipal. I've got a 3rd grader.
And what? 4th grader.
A 4th grader. Oh, I make that all the time. Yes. So maybe last year was my whatever this is year, or I don't know.
It's what era or what chapter, if you could name a chapter of your life or what era you're in.
Middle chapter.
The middle chapter. The middle chapter. Okay, Shauna.
I'm Shauna Cox. I have a 3rd grader who's in the same class as Drake, and I think I'm gonna name this chapter the Delta chapter because I'm currently commuting regularly to Alexandria, Virginia, for work.
Right, Delta. I thought it meant like infinity, but no.
Yeah, no, Delta. I love Delta. I use if ever you watch handwritten notes, I will inevitably end up with a delta in there because that's for change in my handwritten notes. But yeah, no, maybe it has a dual meaning, change. There's a lot of change. If only the government would change back to allowing people to work remotely, life would be good.
Aaliyah.
Sorry, I'm Aaliyah. I'm a parent of a 4th grader, Chet, and my era is I'm also Year of the Dragon, so I feel that it's my year. But it's like I guess I'm all into everything like woo-woo right now. Like if there's stones, if there's psychics, astrology, numerology, like I want all of it.
That's awesome. Michelle.
Hey, I'm Michelle. I use she or they pronouns, and I have a 3rd grader, Miriam, in Miss Kennard's class. And today I'm in my tired era. We've just been constantly sick. We just got over strep. I have to log out at 6:15 because Miriam and I do a class on Monday night together. So it's just a lot of stuff stacked together. So and a lot of work crammed in weird times. So I'm in my tired era.
I should say I have a 3-year-old that's in Drake and Magdal's class, third grader. Did I say 3-year-old?
Yeah, I was like, what? Like you do?
No, I don't, a 3rd grader. Yikes. Okay, do you want to do just a little report on the roller skate as you shove pizza in your mouth? Just a little report on.
Sorry, Miss Sue is also here, but we didn't
Oh,
hear
me
her
too,
too.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I was like, yes,
I put you right on the spot. I'm
I'm
sorry.
so sorry. Told me, it's okay.
You're in your IB era.
I'm in my IB era. I think I'm in an era of like, what is my legacy? Like, what do I want to leave? What will, what will I do? What will I do next?
Planning a heist.
That's not any sort of.
Yeah, where you going? You were talking about a turf field.
Yeah, I'm out of that turf field. I'm after turf field.
You're being intentional about your life.
Thank you.
Look at that. So roller skating happened. It went really well.
Yeah.
Mostly.
For most people. One parent broke several bones.
A parent did?
Yes.
Yes. So that is too bad.
Yes.
Very too bad. I know, right?
I thought it was a kid, okay.
Parent.
Okay.
Was that toward the end or was it so
Right
chaotic?
at the
at the
beginning.
beginning?
Right at the beginning.
Oh, at the beginning.
Oh, at the beginning.
And it's like so chaotic in there anyways, so it's like,
And she was like the furthest away from the door. So this was a lot. Yeah, so that's too bad, and maybe that's something for us to talk about. Like a lot, I know our kids went to preschool together, so like we have a lot of in common friends, but yeah, it'd be nice to send her a card or something. I don't know, maybe do more than that, but that wasn't good. But the rest of it went really well. And I have to say, the skating rink could not have been better to work with. I we're figuring out the sliding fee, how to do that. We ended up collecting the money and then paying them at the end. And I don't think they really understood why we wanted to do that, but they were like, whatever, we'll figure it out. And they really wanted to help us find a calm down space that was cozier than the lobby, but I don't think they really understood that, like, there's no calm down space in the 1970s roller rink. That went really well and was used by some kids, and we had over 400 people there.
Wow.
At least 400 skated, and
Wow.
Liz maybe knows more about the money than me, but we paid the bill.
perfect.
And yeah, people seemed to really like it, and a lot of people helped make it happen. And Paul was up, met the bus, and made sure the bus was very, very organized, and that everyone got back on the bus. And we made the call to have one bus, and that was enough, thank goodness. I don't know what else is like. Liz, you think that we were under budget, right?
I remember at one point talking about that the budget was like 3,000 something,
Yeah.
and it did cost that much at the rink, like 3,100 about, but then there were about 1,300 in donations. So we paid the rink 1,725, and I don't know how much the bus is going to cost, or if I'll get an invoice.
Oh, yeah.
Later.
They'll send it to me, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'll bet like 500 or 600.
yeah, so I think probably $1,000 less than we planned to pay, and it was great event.
Did we have a projection on how much we expected to collect, or was that?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was ready to cover what, I was like, I don't know how much this is gonna cost.
Yeah, no, it's good. I felt very
Like, I'm like a personal loss.
Aw.
But, no, it was, I don't think we had, I mean, this is the first time I've done anything like this before, so I have no idea. And I've never done a sliding feed before, so I didn't know how that would go. I have some ideas written down for like how we might welcome people next year in different ways. So that it's, I don't think it was super awkward, but I think like there's probably better words to use to be like, say what you want or whatever, I don't know. But I think it went well and people seemed, really happy to contribute or happy to not contribute, which is good. I think they're really happy And, but I'll write those kinds of lessons learned down for the future. And then we're already people asking to do it again. And yeah, I don't know, Diego, you've been to more of these.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I had a great time and there was a lot of people. It was a little chaotic to try and dodge all of the kids and their pushers. And I just had to look away anytime a kid just like went down to the ground because they're usually made of rubber so they can bounce right back up. But no, I personally had a blast and I think all the families were like, this is so great. And, we're glad, some of them had been around, glad we brought this back. So yeah, I think it was obviously well attended, so it was great to have the opportunity, so thank you. That was one of my principal updates, so thanks PTO for making it happen and for organizing it and for riding the bus, that's a big deal.
It was fun.
Thank you. A lot of people had fun.
Thank you. You can actually go with the principal update.
Great.
Number one.
So thank you to PTO for Skateville. It was a great culminating event for our Spirit Week that we had last week. And so I'm sure you all know, but each day we had a special dress up or a special occasion for all of our students. And they did a great job. I mean, from day one, from pajama day and color day, we got a great photo of every kid down in the cafeteria from the bridge. We lined them up in the rainbow colors. So that was great. So that's really fun.
Cool idea.
Yep. And that turned out great. We had Wacky Wednesday. Again, a lot of fantastic wackiness that was had throughout the school. Backwards pants and backwards shirts and crazy hair. So that was fun. Character Day, I got to see the very end of it. I had a principal meeting in the morning, but was able to come back and lots of great characters. We had an amazing Frida Kahlo in second grade, so that was super awesome. And then Friday was School Spirit Day, and then culminated by Skateville. So it was just a fun, high energy week. The kids all participated, and did a great job. So that was fun. Today was day one of our IB evaluation, so that's kind of a big deal for us as an IB PYP school. We have two evaluators, both from Canada, one from the Montreal area and one from Toronto. Yeah.
It was Manitoba and Toronto.
Yes, got it.
You can tell.
Yeah. And apparently one looks like Rod Stewart.
Totally.
Now that you say it.
Totally.
I hope this does not, offend you, but do you know who Rod Stewart is? Has anybody ever told you look just like him?
What did he say?
Yeah, all the time.
Like him or?
His face.
This is face.
Interesting.
So it's the culmination of over, I think, almost a year's worth of work in our self-study, our reflection process, and all of our standards and practices as an IB school. I think we shared this at the last PTO or at Site Council, where the survey that we had folks do at conferences in the fall was part of this process. And so thanks for all the people who came and spun the wheel and took a prize home with their kids. But it's just a great way to display who we are, and then for them to give us their commendations on strengths that they see, and then also just some tips and pointers on things and areas that we can grow on. And what I shared today at one of our meetings is that we already know a lot of those areas. It's just maybe some reinforcement from an outside person, because the self-study really is a self-study. Like we're looking inwardly to ourselves and seeing all the areas that we do need to continue to grow in. And so they'll continue the evaluation tomorrow. They met with parents and caregivers today. They're going to meet with some kids tomorrow, some of our IB ambassadors from 5th grade. They have another learning group of teachers that needs to be met with, and then they will start putting together a report. They'll meet with Christine and Sue to go over our, what's that one piece called?
Program development plan.
The program development plan, and then they'll give us their findings and all that at the end of the day. We'll have a school community meeting where they share all their results or their findings or their strengths and opportunities with the staff. And so it's kind of a culmination of all the work that we've been doing for the last year in preparation. Let's see, another PTO type thing, I think it's on the agenda, but the book swap starts today. We got the box downstairs in front of the counter. There's already some books in it, so the kids are really excited to be part of the book swap. We have conferences coming up next week, so we do not have school Monday as it's President's Day, and then the 20th, we have conferences, and so hopefully you've gotten some connection from your child's teacher to schedule those for Tuesday. Let's see.
I can add to that. We're providing lunch for the staff on the PTO, so that'll come. I'll meet the Vittles Catering is who we're using this time, a little different than in the past, but they're providing a variety of sandwiches, vegan, gluten-free, all covered. And then there'll be sides and desserts, so full spread.
Cool. Thank you. It is February, so there's African American, it's Black History Month. We have African American Family Involvement Day. It's happening on the last day of February, on the 29th. It's also I Love to Read Month, so your kids might be talking about, getting bookmarks from Miss Werner and Ms. Reich, and then entering their names for a drawing at the end of the week. And so there's lots of things going on with the I Love to Read Month. February also means it's budget time. I've talked, some budget things at Site Council and PTO. Our budget is going to be delayed. We were supposed to get it sometime this week. Now we're looking at most likely sometime after February 22nd. And so we'll have to push back our timeline that I passed out at Site Council. And that's probably when we'll not expect it until after the 22nd of February. We should be getting our enrollment projections this week, and so that'll be a big indicator of what our budget could look like. And I'm really curious to see how our over enrollment and our numbers this year impact that projection for next year. Because as we all know, dollars are tied to students and to enrollment, so that'll be a big deal when we get that. I think I've also set out that our next Site Council meeting was February 27th. My understanding is that that is a caucus night and that I can't hold any events after 6 p.m. because our building is being used for a caucus. And so that I will be putting that in the newsletter, but we'll have to shift that Site Council meeting off of the 27th because I can't schedule anything on a caucus night. Let's see. School choice, the first round of those school choice school requests is over. And families, if you're already enrolled at Bancroft, you don't have to worry about it unless you're a high five family. And so high five, people should be getting those notifications right around February 22nd, February 23rd of what school they, I guess, were accepted into. And then, anything else I'm missing?
Is that included incoming students?
Incoming high five?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep, I believe so. I just wanted to add to Skate Bill. We did have the surveys out on QR codes. We got about 50, so not a ton, but it's an okay number. But I will definitely be putting that out in the newsletter and also an email blast to families too. So we didn't get a ton, but it's understandable because folks were there to have fun and skate and, maybe they didn't know what the QR code was. It's set on there, but maybe they just want to go have fun and not fill out a survey. It's only 5 questions, so it wasn't too long. So if you filled it out, thank you. If you didn't, you'll have another chance. So I think that's it.
Do you have a sense, Diego, the delayed budget, was the reason for the delay, or was it just a point of information when they said they delayed it?
They didn't really give a reason. I mean, my guess would be trying to figure out a way to find $90 million and not impact the school buildings.
They don't have extra money.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it. It's just under, and I think I don't know how much the change in superintendent had to do with it. I really don't, but that could have played a factor. I know that the departments were also, I think I mentioned to you, Paul, the departments were also sharing what they wanted as a budget or their priorities. And so I think they were trying to figure out, how to find that $90 million before they sent budget profiles out to buildings.
So it was a delay across the board, not just a delay to Bancrofts.
Oh, it's delayed to everybody, yeah. Right. So yeah, I say ours, I mean all of MPS.
The royal we.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's do board updates. Do you want to do?
Oh, sure. So this is Vipal, and I'm going to stay sitting over here for the online folks and for the recording. So I'm reporting on Safe Routes to School grant update. Our big ask in that update was the Fix-It station, and it's flying forward. So the district finally responded, and they're going to install for free, and they're supporting the effort. The vendors that we went with, they're giving us a discount, so we're looking at $25.85 for the unit itself, which I know is coming in under budget, and then plus the fact that we're not having to pay for install. So it's unfortunate that we can't re-update our grant money and maybe use up some of that freed up funds. It's a very big process to work with the state to reallocate what's already been allocated. But anyway, but it's a positive thing. So so there's that. We're gearing up for an April bike education event. So the goal is to have it installed. It's a 5-week delivery time and then the installation time. So to have an event, a bike education event that's run by PTO in April, to marry to that our lawn signs campaign. And I know that's sort of ongoing right now, Ms. Sue, in terms of just having our 4th and 5th graders sort of make designs. So next meeting, we'll take a look at those designs, pick a couple, tweak it, and then we'll go to print in March to have lawn signs in April. And then linked to that, working on the bike shop bid, we've got 1 bid in process. We're required to have 2 bids. 2 other bike shops locally thought it was too much for them, so I'm gonna expand my circle. If anyone has any other bike shop ideas, but now I'm gonna go out to Lindale and over to Hiawatha. I think there are a couple over there. I was trying to stay with one of the nearby ones, but of the 3 I contacted, Angry Catfish is putting something in. So I'm kind of expanding our circle because we're required to have 2 bids. Go for it.
Which shops have you talked to?
You know, I wish I could remember names. One of them, the Coleman Cycle was the closest one, but that's a 1-person shop usually, and he was saying it's just too much for him to do that. The other one, whose name escapes me, but it's.
What's the one in Chicago there?
Free Cycle?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
There's one on the Greenway now, a new one on the Greenway where,
Yeah,
Well, there used to be one there and they closed.
yeah,
but it's
there's a new
new
one now. There used to be a freewheel there, and now
All right.
it's a new one, but I can't remember
What it's
it is.
called.
Well, I'll tell you what, I, as you can tell, I am not a cyclist. So if you have suggestions, shoot me an email. That'd be great, because I'm just Googling and then like looking at their zip code or how, you know, if we have students in that area or whatnot. It'd be neat that it was, you know, I mean, we want to be community, but we'll go with anybody that has the expertise that can give us the education. So there's that. The interpretation and translation services bids. As I stated, we're required to have 2 bids. We've got 1 in, and that's who's in now, and they've been providing. So we've engaged with them for today specifically, but we are still accepting bids so that we can hit that state required minimum. But that process is ongoing. Safety patrol trip, we are doing. We have purchased our tickets, so we're taking safety patrol to a Minnesota Timberwolves game. The game that we landed on was April 3. Over spring break. There was a lot of kind of hemming and hawing versus, you know, a weeknight at 7:30 versus spring break. What would get us the most or the least, the most participants or the least, you know, declines, whatever. We have 22 patrol families attending, so that's 44 tickets plus 15 additional tickets, so 59 tickets in total. Our expense is going to be on the ish a little over 800. It's already been paid by Liz. And we will be recouped $484 of that from the grant. And then we will be recouped $330 of that from the families who purchased extra tickets, non-patrollers. So it was siblings or another family member. So that's going to happen. We're going to get a bus. And my practice with the Skateville bus has set me up for success with this bus. And then, let's see, what else was there? And then, yeah, then just as a matter of course, for the sake of the reporting, all of our documentation is up to date as it states in the agenda. What that means is we're required by the state to file monthly our expenses and project process. And Kate is staying up to date. So again, I want to call out, I think I called it out at the meeting. I want to really call it Kate because she's really keeping us on track with the paperwork, which is, as anyone in the studio, you know, because you do a lot of grants, there's a lot of paperwork involved. So that's what I have for Safe Routes to Schools. Any questions?
Sent you the bike shop on the Greenway.
So did I.
Rock and roll.
Once it's installed, who's responsible for like?
Oh, that's a great follow-up question. All right, so we are, meaning the school is, but meaning not the district. So meaning PTO is. So the district won't manage, repair, replace. It's a PTO project. Looking forward, we could certainly line item a repair, replace notion. There's going to be tools dangling. I don't know how long, how much wear and tear there are to tools, but that's something for future PTOs. But as we know, the district has been clear that they're not responsible for repair, replace, and the school doesn't have its own checkbook, so that means it would be a PTO thing. But we sort of knew that moving forward. I mean, when we launched this, we just really wanted to get the resource there and then build it so that future PTOs will not fall too far behind on it.
Is that something we have a budget set aside in the grant to do every so?
Right, no, the grant is it's a 2-year grant, so we're in the first of our 2 years. We could certainly, we're going to go for this, well, I'm in middle school by this point, but it would be nice for PTO to go for this grant again because of the benefits to us. $17,000 is being added to our biennium budget. And so for whoever future PTO is, for them to pick it up, put in a grant request for repair, replace as an item. Yeah, that's a great question.
Any more questions? This will be a nice transition. Do you want Aaliyah to talk about, we're going to be voting on lawn sign designs. We're also going to be voting on t-shirt designs. Aaliyah, do you want to talk a little bit about our plans?
Sure. I'm going to have to ask Michelle to jump in, and I know they're going to have to leave pretty quickly here, but my understanding based on your conversations and our emails is that we're talking about doing a new t-shirt design, buying a t-shirt for every student, similar to how we did it last year, and doing some hoodies for teachers. Is that right?
Yeah, and I think also like we did last year, letting people ahead of time order at a low cost a t-shirt or a hoodie if they want, because so I think if we provide one t-shirt to every student and a hoodie to every teacher, and then allowing people on the order form to specify if they want to order anything extra like we did last year.
Sure.
And we keep the cost pretty low if we can order ahead of time and have them bulk print it.
Yep. So I checked with Overproof and they're ready. They have a lot of thoughts on pricing and other aspects of the project. They also have more staff so they can do a quicker turnaround. They said it would be a 2-week turnaround from receiving the design files and the order numbers to getting them printed. They have plenty of the royal blue t-shirt that we did last year. And as far as other colors, they can offer guidance if we want it. Obviously, they said the ink shows up better on lighter colored shirts. They have a lot of success with gray. So that's a possibility. As far as hoodies are concerned, those are going to be more so the t-shirts were like $7, I think, all told. A hoodie is going to be more like 19 or 20, depending on what style we select. And obviously, anytime we add a new design and add a second color, that incurs additional expenses as well. I can refresh people's memory if they want on the ordering process and the fulfillment that we did last year, or I can hand it back to Santa and you can ask me questions, whatever you think is best.
And can I just chime in really quickly there? So I think one thing we hadn't decided on, and this is what I think we'll probably decide at our next meeting, is do we want we wanted a new design for the t-shirts, so it would look different for the students who are getting them every year. Did we want the same design for the hoodie, like the hoodie that Sana's wearing right now? Like, do we want to have, thank you. Do we want to keep that same design for the hoodie, which would reduce the cost because it's something that that they already have the art for. And that's something we'll talk about next meeting. We'll have some designs to present next meeting that people can vote on. I still need to get in touch. I still need to get in touch with Drew and see if he wants to do Bulldog or work with the Bulldogs we have right now.
Wait, I want to say something. We weren't buying hoodies. I thought Diego said he buy hoodies for the teachers. I might have misheard that. If not, that's okay. We can buy $20 hoodies for the teachers. But I thought you said that you do a special order.
Nope.
No. It was in my dreams. It was in my dreams.
I mean, last year we had a cartwheel grant, and so I was able to buy shirts for all of the teachers.
Okay, yes. Yes, we should be able to get.
Unfortunately, never said that I will buy teachers for these, so now I'm on the spot saying.
It was me. I said we were buying. No. But I mean, we could definitely get the teachers t-shirts at least. Shauna, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something that Michelle said, I think. If we get a new graphic for the t-shirt, would that setup not cover putting that same graphic on a sweatshirt, or is there something I don't understand about screen printing?
No, that was, oh, sorry, you go, Michelle.
No, it would be the same. I think the question is there's two questions. The style of hoodie, the amount of available space to screen print it might be different.
Yeah.
If we get a hoodie with pockets, the available space is actually pretty significantly different than the available space on a t-shirt. And also just the question of do we want a new design on both? Do we want the same design on both? Do we want different designs? And that's something that we can address next month. But so yeah, so I guess Shauna, to answer your question, like we could totally use the same graphic, but maybe not depending on what the hoodie options are that Aaliyah gets from Overproof.
Got it. That makes sense.
I just wanted to mention because we were talking about design that we're going to be voting on design too. So, both for the lawn thing and for the t-shirts. And I agree because like for example, this is the design for the t-shirt, and I thought it was a little too small for the hoodie. But I didn't have a choice. Like Michelle sent me the design, and then I sent it to Etsy. So I didn't want to wait, and they're out of stock.
We have, I have the navy blue hoodie that has that same design on it. I wore that on Friday. We also have had zip-up hoodies that have just had Baycroft or school logo. Yeah. I would love for kids to have a say too in what the t-shirt might look like.
Yes.
And that's how we did this last one.
Yeah. Was there like a voting or something?
Yep. All the classes voted.
Oh.
And I think Drew Brockington made 2 or 3 designs.
We made 4. There was 4 different ones. And then we had a poster board in the cafeteria. Students voted, by sticking stars. Yeah.
We could think about, the only thing is about timeline, so I don't know.
Sorry, I missed that because my 5-year-old was having a meltdown. We're talking about having the students vote on the designs.
Yeah, that they voted last year for the design, and maybe we could do that this year.
What we did was 4 that we took the top 2, and then as a council selected the one that became the main one.
Okay.
So I think for the timeline that we have, for example, we've got book exchange coming up on the 29th. So if designs are made before then, for example, let's pretend 4, we could have students, as they're selecting their books, stick stickers to reduce it, and then we take the top 2, and that becomes a deliberation in terms of the other, the size of the text and where it goes or whatnot, however people want to do the design element. At the time, just for a matter of context and for the sake of the recording, we were changing Bulldog logos. So it wasn't so much a design as it was really coming up with a new character. Okay. And so if we're using the same Bulldog logo, but Bulldog's doing something different, that's a little more minor compared to what we did because we went to a totally different Bulldog design. Yeah. So that was one of the big things. But yeah, I think we have an event coming up that we could tie to if we want student input in a low effort kind of way. The timing is just a matter of getting at the designs by the 29th. Otherwise, we then push into March, and there are no events after that.
Yeah. I mean, Michelle.
I'm not sure if it'll be realistic to get things done by then for students to vote on, because that's 2 weeks, and I don't know how realistic that is, but I will see what I can do.
And also, we were not changing the dog. We were gonna like do a different. The dog was gonna stay within a different, like on skates or something. Like that was a thought.
Well, that could be, yeah, so, I mean, let's just make that a discussion point. Is it a same bulldog, different activity? Is that kind of the gist of the design change?
So honestly, my household has been sick with strep since Wednesday. So I had on my agenda to talk to Drew, and I haven't yet. Drew Brockington's the one that did these awesome bulldogs for us. And I know he did a roller skating bulldog, and I thought I wanted to check in with him and see what his timeline was like and what his thoughts were about doing the same bulldog but in other poses or doing other things, because right now he did 4 bulldogs for us in various poses. And then I guess 5 because we have the roller skating one too.
Oh, this is the one.
Being triumphant.
Yeah. So I think without having to overcommit anything, Michelle, I imagine you could have the conversation, and if something's possible, something's possible. We don't have to preempt it for the 29th. It's literally just having printouts on a board with stars, right? So, I mean, there's no prep needed. We could get the decision. There's no prep needed on the event. So Michelle, the question is this: when you have the conversation, if Drew and you think it's possible, then great. If you don't think it's possible, no big deal. We've never told anybody, so it's not like we're letting everybody down. And we could leave the decision up until the Wednesday before exchange, because nobody's going to know until the Thursday anyway.
Perfect. I'll check with Drew and see what his timeline's like. And then it's whatever his timeline is like, then it's a little bit more time. We could even have the kids vote on the dogs, and then I could do my thing after that too.
Yeah.
If he has time to make the dogs.
Sounds good. Liz.
Okay, a lot of things we've talked about already for the treasurer's report. Our totals for the field trip fund, the balance is $23,113.73. There's a check for the bus that I've written, and it hasn't cleared yet, so I think did Miss Sue step out?
Right there.
Oh, did you get that check?
I did.
For 20
Submitted.
Okay, so that's not reflected in the total there.
Okay.
And there were the donations are from parents. And the PTO fund has $54,937.49. We spent money on Skateville and Timberwolves and Vittles, and then our regular expenses, and had a couple random donations.
And we haven't transferred that money over, right?
That's right.
Okay. We need to transfer PTO money to field trip. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Do you want to talk about the book drive?
Okay, so I don't know how much more we need to talk about. Well, we do have one. Okay, so it's obviously started. We're running until the 23rd, but there's a little bit of rollover. I will be putting out, I have a great list already of folks who volunteer. But we will put out another call for volunteers. We have a schedule set up for this, starting people coming on site. The first shift would be on site at 9:45 on the ish for a 10 o'clock arrival of students, and then it rolls until about 3 o'clock. So as usual, we will set up for 2-hour shifts, but sometimes people can come in for an hour.
I was asking what day?
Yeah, this is the 29th. So the daytime, 29th from 9:45 to 3 on the ish. We're looking for 2 adults per shift to help manage the books. And the managing of the books is every time a classroom comes on through, all the files sort of have to get reset. While the classrooms are there, they do need a little bit of engagement, helping them choose a book in a timely manner. You know, they're assisting their classroom teacher with that activity. And then there is the bagging or the collecting of the books so that it's together with them so that they leave with the books that they chose. It's a bit of a whirlwind, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And so that's going to be that ask. There will be an ask for the Wednesday evening for the big prep of the site. That's about, we can, with 4 people or 5 people, and assuming that we do our maintenance leading up to it, it's really about a 90-minute process to just get everything piled together. So that will be that ask. And then the part that is in discussion is the bags. We have in the past used plastic bags so that the students put their books in the bags. We write the name on that bag. It goes out the door with them. And the intention is that, fingers crossed, the bag makes it into their backpack, right? The year we did it not that way. Books got lost, and there were fewer books. This was the first year, but there was a lot of tears, a lot of crying for people whose books were kind of mixed up. I got that book. No, it was on the floor, you know, whatever. So the bag thing really does solve tears, but the question is, well, plastic bags, can we not use bags? There was an idea about using twine to tie, but again, in that 15-minute, you can imagine, especially with our size classrooms, twining 30 piles of books might be a little too much for even a Cub Scout to do. So, but having said that, Ms. Werner is donating the book bags that were being given out at an event. I forget which event. We have 273. I did the count.
They're like little cinch sacks.
Little cinch sacks.
Draw bags.
The reading is fundamental ones?
Yeah.
So we have 273 of those. We need to get to about 500, unless you took, you know, I mean, we keep growing. The number keeps changing.
There's a lot of kids.
Yeah. So we have 100. And we have 110 plastic bags left over from last year. All right, so that sort of covers that. So I just want to get a little guidance. I think we do need that. I mean, people can certainly speak against it. I am going to recommend A, we do need bags. B, whether we do plastic or we do these book bags. I mean, as we, you know, this is an institutional event for us, an activity for us. And so us and future PTOs will need to figure out what do we want to do about this bag situation. Is it any better or any worse that we're putting out these cinch bags that sometimes last 4 months, sometimes last 4 weeks, right? They're reusable at least. We can also go compostable, which we haven't done yet.
I can only speak for my own house, but I'm overloaded with leftover totes from every little dumb thing. So I wonder if, as we put out a call for book donations, if people have totes they want to get rid of, that would be great.
Okay.
I have like 20. Put them in
I
there.
have-
Yeah, just throw them in.
All right, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Go for it.
It sounds like between what we have with the cinch bags and what we already possess of plastic bags, is there enough for this year?
No, we need to
Okay,
get to
sorry, I missed
500,
that
so we're at
count.
373 on the ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Because I'm
we can
like,
put, like,
use what we have,
150.
right?
Yeah,
So
for
those-
sure.
Like, use what we have because it's already here, but like, maybe then don't buy additional plastic bags, buy something that's compostable or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I mean, whether it's a discussion for this council or for the next council, we only need to make up the difference of 100 and
Yeah.
something, someone to do that math now. And so how do we feel about Tom's idea of a call of, you know, people just getting rid of their totes?
Yeah, well, or
They're gonna be gross. I'm worried that they're gonna be gross and someone's gonna have to wash them.
Yeah, all right,
And
gotcha.
I wouldn't want to volunteer for that.
How big what's the size? Like a picture book size? A couple picture books?
I mean, yeah, that would be nice. Our plastics are a little small, but you had something.
I would volunteer to look at them, to clean them out and sort them out. But I have too many like Target bags, you know, they give you. Not the plastic ones, the reusable ones.
The clothing
The
that
cloth
got
ones.
donated, I would say maybe Mandy would have a better feel for it, but I thought maybe like 20% of what we got was probably not great for donating.
Yeah.
That's true.
It wasn't, I didn't think it was a huge amount.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have donated.
Well,
Just
we could,
ask for clean ones or like, you know.
Yeah.
Or also, could we ask for paper or plastic bags? Because everyone has those.
Yeah.
just a bag ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Target
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yep, all right, I like it.
If they're reusable, if you got them, but if not, you know, just have a.
So, yeah, this is good. So we could sort of message it out, drop off
Yeah.
your donations in a bag that we get to keep. Like, I mean, like, you know, be intentional about giving us a good paper bag or a good, you know, a clean-ish tote bag. All right. So that could be.
Shauna asked,
that could
what
be
about
better.
a bookmark that you can write the kid's name in to tuck into the book?
We're eyeing 4 books a student. I mean, that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
last
I
year,
couldn't remember.
yeah.
But then the other thing I was thinking was paper bag, and there's just, I don't know, there's something kind of exotic about getting a book in a paper bag, like, you know, the flat ones that you
Yeah.
get at really nice bookstores. Um, you can like close it with a sticker or something. I don't know. But
Okay.
I am totally pro, please don't buy any more plastic bags. I'm also terribly guilty about bringing some home from Target, so I could donate them for
All right.
reuse.
So how's about this then for a plan regarding this? This will be the new messaging regarding donating of bags in addition to, and then on the Friday, which is our deadline, we'll just do an assessment how many bags, and then maybe if we didn't quite hit that difference, PTO pick up some paper bags out of
That
it.
sounds perfect.
I think I have 100 bags. at
All
home.
right, all right.
I think that's fine.
But then we've got that Friday through Wednesday. We've got the Friday through Wednesday buffer. So, okay, good. I like the idea.
It's a good message to the kids that like we reuse this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if this bag idea sort of takes off, then this could be the new ad, and then it becomes a future,
Yeah.
then it's a self-serving kind of thing. Self-serving, that's the word I want, no, self-fulfilling. All right, that's all I got for book drive, I believe. If I forgot something, you can email me. But I will be emailing out folks, volunteer ask, anybody here who has not been on that original email chain, certainly reach out to me.
Shauna said that she can help with setup on Wednesday.
Oh, great, yeah, that's great. Thank you, Shauna.
Okay, Lindsay.
Amazing. Hi. Like I said, Lindsay, parent to a 4th grader. It's lovely to be here with you. I'm gonna check in with my fam, but also looks like maybe the 28th is free of you, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
I am here tonight to invite, to inform and invite around the parent and caregiver organizing that I do as my day job. I'm an organizer with Take Action Minnesota. And I just actually want to really start with like letting you all know why I care about this. So my team is throwing down for affordable childcare in Minnesota. I don't know if that's an issue that resonates with you or has resonated with your family. But yeah, we are a 1-kid family, and Evelyn came into our life while we were living in Luxembourg, which is, that tiny country in Western Europe, where things like childcare and kids having like safe, joyful places to like crash around with friends and be with other healthy, like supportive adults are thought of as like public goods that are invested in public funds. And so my first experience with childcare was like taking Eve out of like the kangaroo and like going into this like government-run childcare center that was in a refurbished church. Eve was like 6 months old. They use they and she pronouns these days. I handed them to the like very like just grinning like 20-something-year-old who was like, yay, and started talking to my child in Luxembourgish and like grabbed one of those little busy books and like they started playing together. And I walked out into like this square and just started like weeping. Like was going to meet a friend for coffee. It was the first time I dropped my child off with like anybody else. And my friend was like, oh, do you really miss your baby? Like you've been at home with her and stuff. And I was like, there's that. And there's also just like, I am so relieved that I can take this for granted. Right? Like I feel so supported. And like, I don't know anybody here, but everybody's taxes is paying for this. And I get to have this afternoon where I get to be like a person. And it just is like, it works. There is a literal childcare system. And flash forward like 7 months, we moved back to Minneapolis. And between like landing back in Minneapolis and like there was like 2 weeks before my husband and I both started like full-time jobs and we needed to get into daycare with the quickness and like all of the relief and like support that I felt in this other system was like immediately out the window and it was like feelings on the opposite side of the spectrum, right? Like even like taking for granted, like what a huge privilege, like class privilege to be able to say that daycare was even an option for us, which is its own problem. But like there were so few spots and like I felt like very isolated and very alone and like to the extent that I thought about other families in my community, it was like in competition to make sure that like we got to the front of the list and like if there was a slot available, what's the matter with this spot? Why aren't there like 17 parents in line? Whatever, we all know what the crisis is like. Curious that folks can like resonate with them. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so welcome to today, which is also first day of the Minnesota legislative session for all who celebrate. And my team of parents and caregiver volunteers have decided to campaign on affordable childcare. And it's really exciting because this is an issue that impacts absolutely every single one of us, and all the Bancroft families, I'm positive. And we have a really unique opportunity because last year lawmakers like codified a goal. They set a goal that in order for childcare to be considered affordable, families would pay no more than 7% of their income on childcare. And so if you bring home $4,000 a month, that means you're paying $280 a month total for all of your children who are using daycare. And I know we all have paid like way more than that or have not worked because we couldn't afford or whatever. Yeah, it's only folks who are making $340,000 a year or more who actually hit that affordability target with like no help from the state. And there is a bill that is called the Great Start Affordability Program that is being like jacketed as we speak, that creates this beautiful mechanism to make the 7% goal a reality for Minnesota families that are making less than $126,000 a year. This bill like builds this mechanism where the Department of Revenue pulls the list of eligible families, they pass it to the newly created Department of Children, Youth, and Families. Those folks know where all of our babies are in licensed daycares, and they start talking to the daycare providers and cutting checks to the daycare providers that are above the 7% threshold. So families do absolutely no bureaucratic hoop jumping. They don't have to like find out if they're eligible or whatever. When this machine gets funded, families will just see their invoices fall. I really want this to happen.
Yeah.
Does anybody else here really want this to happen? Hell yes. There's no like organized opposition to this. The only thing that could really get in the way are competing interests. There's a bucket of $2 billion in surplus, and the legislature has like the guts to spend a certain amount of that, and organized asks are coming from prisons and agriculture, and they are coming quickly. And so my team is going to the state capitol this Thursday to talk to legislators, to share our stories about why we care about affordable childcare, to sing rewrites of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star that are all about this. I've really packed a lot of messaging into 2 stanzas. I'm very proud of myself. And if one of my coworkers gets their way, we will also sing Baby Shark to really earworm this situation. But yeah, just like deliver like a beautiful like to-do list for Minnesota families that has gold stars for all the stuff they did last year, and a big reminder that this affordable childcare thing is a goal that they set and a promise they need to keep. And I would love everybody who is interested, if you're available on Thursday, awesome, talk to me after, we will link up. I'm happy to support you in like joining our joyful crew. If you're not available on Thursday, definitely like come in, but you're still interested in supporting, come talk to me afterwards. There's a bajillion different ways that we can like support you in sharing your story and like making a difference on this. So thank you for listening. I actually, yeah, I want to do a little bit more. This is like not Minnesotan, but I'm not from here. Who's going to talk to me afterwards about like how we can support? Yes, love this. Sana, yes? Hell yeah. Okay, yes, beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
I need to hold them to it.
Yeah.
No, that 90% of organizing is follow-up.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, questions?
I appreciate your passion.
Oh,
Your work.
That's what we
have.
Yeah. Okay, so I think for the plan set, we're just gonna talk about the dates. I don't think we're gonna share anything. If you wanna say something, Shauna.
Yeah, and the dates, I think we've decided it's Mother's Day weekend again, because there's something going on at the school the following weekend, which was when I was gonna propose that we potentially experiment with.
I had on my calendar spring art night.
Yeah, it's May 16th is Spring Arts Night. Yeah.
So if that's still the case. Yeah, so then, because Shauna was proposing that we switch the plant sale to that weekend, but given that that event is Thursday night, that would be a lot to try to manage plants in the building and people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I emailed Jack the date that we would already want is already booked, but sorry, I texted him. I have him on speed text. So I pretty much said like, hey Jack, the date we need is booked. You got any flexibility? And he's like, let me get back to you. And then he was like, day got away from me. Let me get back to you after I put my kid to bed. So I'm sure I'll hear from him in the next couple of days, and I have every reason to believe that he'll accommodate that that date. I guess my question is, I can get the following Thursday? If that date, the first Thursday is not available, would we want to try to get that Thursday that would coincide with the event at the school, and we would have to have like guards up around the flowers, as a backup. I generally trust that Jack's gonna make this happen. He took great care of us last year, but just like, never mind. Forget I said that. Jack's gonna take care of us. It's all gonna be good. Never mind. Never mind. It's gonna be great. I just need to connect with Mandy on how you print stuff on big envelopes, because that was kick butt with the readathon, and I totally want to do it this year with the book
Oh,
sale.
talk to
Or the book
Diego.
sale, the plant sale. Yeah. So I'm gonna connect with you on that, and then the other big thing I'm gonna do to make things, I think, hopefully easier is to do away with the dual carbonless copy thing. And just do it as a regular double-sided letter size, which will be far less expensive to produce. If people want to keep themselves a copy, they can just take a picture of it. And then we'll just look it up by people's name, which we did anyway when people showed up without their second form. So I think that's going to be a value add, because those forms are really expensive. And they're also really fussy to work with. So I think that will net us more of the sale, and I think it will be easier for pretty much everyone. Am I missing anything on that, folks, in my thinking with respect to those forms?
Sounds like no.
All right, sounds good. Otherwise, we're ripping along. It's gonna be fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, do you want to talk about?
I don't, yeah, school, I don't really know if there's much to add to it. I'm curious, I know anecdotally, I've heard some stuff back. Folks in this room who've written letters, have you gotten responses? Yeah, I knew about yours actually, Tom, and, the only thing I want to point out, and this is for the sake of the recording again, that's gonna get posted, well, actually, I don't know, because our website's down.
I was thinking we would email it.
Yeah, but the Strip put out that great article about the influx of migrant families to our communities. And it's great that there's public discussion. I mean, at least in mainstream, there's recognition about what's happening here. And that's added information, added context to why we're experiencing what we're experiencing. And so if people just continue to letter write, or letter write for the first time, it's all the same points. We are still going for whole teachers, not halvesies. We are still going for trying to keep our intervention teams, and we are going for smaller classrooms because what's my kid's fourth grade right now? It's 31, I think, because we got our Valentine's.
Stuff for Valentine's, guys.
Yeah, we got our
It's not the
Valentine's.
28th, okay?
Yeah.
Very true.
No.
So anyway, that's all I really have on it. There's not very much transparency, but Tom, you want to share what you got or what?
No, actually, I meant to say, so some of you who were here last year may remember a gentleman named Josh Dunham.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got an email.
Yeah. Those of us who signed up for his list, he's the lobbyist for MPS, and he sent an email update around today talking about what their asks are going to be this year. And I don't remember exactly what they are. I guess I could pull my email and read, but I know there was something about they're proposing ways to try to fill the gap, the funding gap for when parents who have kids that are out of the district need special services for their children. Like the state MPS still funds those services even if they're at a charter or private. So a way to recalibrate the funding formula to be a little bit, so it's not just MPS like supporting quite as much or supporting the same way. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I could forward that, and maybe we could put the text in the email and notes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, as a group, we have tilted against pretty large, adversaries when it comes to school funding. And the idea behind this one was to try to really have a local focus, literally talking about our school's budget, not all the entire district's budget. But having said that, there's communication across place, and like Lindsay sort of mentioned, it's not that they're out of money, it's just it's competing interests. And so just getting our messages out. And I feel like we are successful in being heard because we are getting responses. We just need to be a little louder, maybe then someone will turn the corner and join us on it. But I just continue, we'll have now that we have extra time, now we know we have extra time, we'll do an extra push, messaging push to try to get more folks in before that crunch.
Good. Kind of related, I had a visit with the Family Resource Center, and they have a bunch of like groups in different schools. If the school has to offer it, but like for Spanish speaking families. So I'm gonna try to have one here. I'm gonna try to see if they'll come because they have staff that are Spanish speaking. The Family Resource Center provides like resources for new families, mostly immigrants, and but then they do all sorts of things like from like book clubs to cooking classes to just knowing your community kind of thing. And I thought it might be helpful since we have so many families here. So we're in conversation. They might attend the next meeting next month just to talk about their services. The Family Resource Center. Oh, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Of course, and the only one thing, again, sorry, I come as an outsider here. For those that don't know me, I'm here to interpret for whomever comes in Spanish. And the last time that we met downstairs, there were families that attended. It was the drive, the winter clothing drive. And I had a couple of families asking me things, but they were very basic things about the community. Yeah. So one of the parents asked me, can we use that gym and go play with my kid while my wife is doing this? So I said, of course, that's what it is there for, that you have a teacher there available. And then another one came and said, if we can come here and play basketball some other time, it's just this winter, they just came. They don't know where to go. So I said, you should go to the community center. He goes, what is a community center? So if they don't know what they don't know. So that kind of group, those kind of group, even explain to them what is a PTO or the different committees in the school so they're well informed.
Yeah.
Community-wise, navigation, that's a big monster. Like it is pretty much a full-time position just to explain everything, but yes, it's needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those families they didn't have any sort of like a sponsor family, like how they came into the US at all? Oh, that sucks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did like a user's guide to the
Yeah.
community.
Just to show you like,
I
here's
like
how
that,
healthcare
yeah.
works in the US. That's what my family.
I need one of
family
those.
had.
Social media, the kids.
Yeah.
Is there any new business? That was my new business that I'm trying to work on that. But is there any new business? Anything else?
Sana, I had something.
Yeah, good.
So we had talked briefly about new yard signs because we are now officially out of yard signs. We have sold or given them all away. And in the past, they haven't really been like a money maker. It's more just something that is a pay what you want. And we really just wanted to get Bancroft's, Bancroft representation out in the community. So I'm not sure how we'd want to approach it this spring, but we should start thinking about yard signs because I don't know who designed the last one and I don't know if the file still exists. But it would be really cool to have something like maybe with our new bulldog if we're going to do a tie-in with Spirit Wear. So that's just something I kind of wanted to put out there. I'm not sure if I'm like the person who wants to be in charge of yard signs, but I can be if needed. So.
Can it be tied in with our safe routes to schoolyard signs, sort of?
Thank you for that question, Todd.
Okay.
As you're queuing me up here. But no, yeah, so I think, Mandy, as you know, we're going to do those yard signs specific to safe routes to schools. It's about safe, that's supposed to be
I know where
that we've got, okay, anyway, the point is, I wonder if we do a competing set, it may dilute interest. So I think if we when we get the student designs, that's supposed to help us with the actual messaging. I imagine we're going to tweak a little bit to put in the branding that we need or want, including the bulldog or including something about Spirit Wear or what have you. And that would be I imagine that would be the effort in terms of lawn signs for this year at least. And then the idea is whether we make it a pay as able, when we, the next thing, once we get the signs designed, the next thing, I've gone to the Bancroft Neighborhood Association, and they're gonna help hook us up and message out, so that people who don't attend our school, but want to be supportive of our messaging, will take a yard sign. So that's kind of the big drive. I think to have a second drive might be a little diluting.
Okay, so let's just say maybe the new yard sign launch for just proud supporter Bancroft Elementary for any families to have, maybe that happens like next fall.
Yeah,
And we can have them for like back to school night and those like early exciting events.
Yep.
Those sound good?
Yep.
Great, less work for me. Awesome.
Well, does that mean that we have to have these kind of, like, if not printed and ready, designed and ready to go before the end of the school year? Because then fall comes, and if we're doing welcome back, are we gonna want them there for open house, for like, or
Yeah.
so?
I would say we approve the expenditure. Like I can find out, you know, the cost or like do some research, but we don't actually need, we could approve an expenditure and then just discuss like over email or something, final designs and that kind of stuff. So like, I don't think we need to stress too much.
Related sort of, now that you talked about approved expenditures, I know Ms. Sue had wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet, okay, that's fine. But
Thank you.
one of the things that you know, to make up for the gap, the difference in like, right now we have a lot of money. We're gonna, by the end, like, it's gonna be like probably less than what we have, half of what we have. And I'm thinking about next year, about how like we wanna be able to cover all the trip expenditures and all the stuff for the kids. And I really want a happy hour auction event. That happened in my previous school and I absolutely loved it. It was a great way to get parents to do stuff. Not this year, because it's a lot of work, but maybe next year as a way of getting parents to, you know, donate things and raise more money. It's just a really easy fundraiser that you can raise a lot of money very easily. So it's just an idea to put out there. I'm just planting a little seed that I'm just thinking about our budget for next year and how we're gonna have to make up like a pretty significant difference to cover all the trips and activities for kids. Anyway, just planting a seed. All right, let's do a closing since we're early. I have an idea. What? Yeah, everybody's gonna answer now. What if you could describe Bancroft in one word? What would it be? See, this one's easier. It's not a chapter of a book, but it can be.
Open.
Joyful.
Connected.
Educational.
Welcoming.
Community.
Excuse me, because I gotta think about it.
One word.
This is not one word. Fifth grade talent show.
That was so good.
Sorry I didn't mention that in my update.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely
We
amazing.
wish there was a DVD that we could
Nope.
buy.
That's so good. Churning, like there's always so many moving parts.
Yes, churning. Yes, yes.
Always moving.
Very welcoming.
I like welcoming.
I like community and commitment, especially the staff.
Yeah. Mandy, did you say anything?
I did not. I'm gonna say kick ass and it's one word because it's hyphenated.
Everyone? Okay. So there was one more announcement. We are going to do elections 1 month earlier, not in June, but in May, just because. So we will be recruiting people because several people are phasing out. And so we will be recruiting. So if you are interested or if you know another parent that is interested, please speak to one of us, the people that are currently on the board. Oh, raise your hand if you're currently on the board. Yeah. Cool. And so we will be, looking, and so I think nominations should probably happen in like April, so the elections happen in May. That's the timeline. Anything else? Oh my God, we're done early. I have to take some pizza home.
Dr. You can raise your hand.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, thank you, online folks. I'm gonna end the stream.
All right. Bye in the room, folks.
All right, bye y'all.